The Galactic Senate chamber fell silent as Ambassador Marcus Webb stood before the assembled representatives of 10,000 worlds. The human diplomat's face remained calm, though he knew the announcement he carried would shake the foundations of intergalactic politics. Emperor Thorax XIX, ruler of the sprawling Centaurian Empire, had just declared that Marcus had successfully courted and impregnated both of his daughters. The Senate was indeed stunned that the Centaurians were an ancient race, their civilization spanning 12 millennia. They possessed technology that could reshape planets and military might that had conquered half the galaxy. Yet for all their power, they faced a crisis that threatened their very existence. Their species was dying. Centaurian biology had evolved on a world of extreme radiation and toxic atmosphere. Over millions of years, their bodies had become incredibly resilient, but reproductively fragile. The birth rate had plummeted over the last 3 centuries. Genetic diversity had collapsed. Scientists predicted extinction within 5 generations. Emperor Thorax had daughters, twins named Vara and Kes. By Centaurian standards, they were unremarkable in appearance. Their scaled skin bore mottled patterns of gray and brown. Their eyes bulged slightly from elongated skulls. 4 arms extended from broad shoulders, ending in clawed hands. By human standards, they were objectively alien, though Marcus had learned to see beyond superficial differences. The Emperor had sought solutions across the galaxy. His scientists had attempted genetic engineering, cloning, and cross-species fertilization with dozens of compatible races. Every attempt had failed. The Centaurian genetic code was too rigid, too specialized. It rejected foreign material with ruthless efficiency. Then humanity made first contact. Humans were newcomers to the galactic stage, having achieved faster-than-light travel only 40 years prior. They were technologically primitive compared to elder races, but they possessed something remarkable. Human genetics were stunningly adaptable. Human DNA could incorporate and express traits from exposure to various environments, radiation, even viral infections. Humans were genetic CHAMELEONS. When Centaurian researchers analyzed human biology, they discovered something extraordinary. Human reproductive cells possessed a unique property. They could bond with Centaurian genetic material in ways no other species could. The mechanism was complex, involving enzyme compatibility and chromosomal flexibility, but the conclusion was clear. Humans might save the Centaurian race from extinction. Emperor Thorax had approached the human government with a proposal. Send ambassadors. Establish cultural exchange. See if natural romantic connections could develop between species. The human government, eager to establish strong ties with a galactic superpower, had agreed. Marcus had been among the first wave of human diplomats assigned to the Centaurian homeworld. He was a linguist and cultural anthropologist, fascinated by alien civilizations. He had spent 2 years learning Centaurian customs, history, and language. He had attended imperial functions, studied their literature, and worked closely with various members of the royal court. He had met Vara and Kes during a diplomatic reception. The twins served as cultural liaisons, helping alien visitors navigate Centaurian society. They were intelligent, curious, and surprisingly funny. They had asked Marcus endless questions about Earth, about human culture, about his personal experiences. Friendship had developed naturally. Marcus found himself spending more time with the sisters, sharing meals, attending cultural events, discussing philosophy and art. He learned that Vara loved ancient human poetry and could recite entire stanzas in flawless English. Kes had developed a fascination with human music and had learned to play several Earth instruments. The physical differences had mattered less as emotional connections deepened. Marcus saw beyond the scales and claws to recognize kindness, intelligence, and genuine affection. When Vara had first expressed romantic interest, Marcus had been surprised but not horrified. When Kess had made similar overtures weeks later, he had realized something profound was happening. Emperor Thorax had given his blessing, but with conditions. The relationships must be genuine, based on authentic feelings rather than political convenience. Marcus must understand the weight of what he was undertaking. If children resulted, they would be heirs to the Centaurian throne, part of a dynasty stretching back thousands of years that Marcus had accepted, not out of duty or ambition, but because he had genuinely fallen in love. The twins were remarkable individuals, and the cultural barriers that might have prevented connection had instead become bridges to deeper understanding. The medical procedures had been complex. Centaurian and human reproductive biology were different enough to require careful intervention. Scientists had developed a process that allowed fertilization to occur in specialized laboratory conditions. With the resulting embryos implanted back into Vara and Kess, the procedure had succeeded beyond anyone's expectations. Both sisters were now pregnant, confirmed by medical scans showing healthy hybrid embryos developing normally. Now Marcus stood before the Galactic Senate, about to explain how humanity had accomplished what no other race could. Senator Blacks of the Regellian Consortium rose from his seat, his crystalline body refracting the chamber's lights into rainbow patterns across the walls. His voice resonated through the translation system. Ambassador Webb, this Senate demands explanation. The Centaurian Empire has denied cross-species reproduction proposals from dozens of worlds. Many of us offered genetic material from our finest citizens. All were rejected. Now a primitive species achieved success after mere years of contact. How? Marcus met the senator's gaze steadily. The answer lies not in superiority, but in compatibility. Human genetics evolved on a planet of constant change. Our DNA adapted to ice ages, climate shifts, disease pressures, and environmental toxins. This adaptability extends to reproduction. Our genetic code can interface with Centaurian biology in ways more rigid species cannot. Senator Vren of the Polarian Federation spoke next, her voice sharp with accusation. You exploit Centaurian desperation for political gain. This Senate sees through your manipulation. This Senate sees incorrectly, Marcus replied firmly. I am married to Vara and Kess, according to both human and Centaurian law. Our relationships developed over 2 years of genuine friendship and mutual respect. The pregnancies were not accidents or schemes, but the natural outcome of committed partnerships. Emperor Thorax rose from his observation throne, his massive form dominating the chamber. When he spoke, his voice carried the authority of millennia. This Senate will hear truth. Ambassador Webb was not assigned to pursue my daughters. He was not instructed by his government to seek breeding opportunities. He came as a student of our culture, and he immersed himself completely in understanding our people. My daughters chose him of their own will. I investigated thoroughly before granting approval. His feelings are genuine, yet the political implications cannot be ignored, Senator Blacks countered. These hybrid children will be heirs to your throne. Humanity gains tremendous influence over Centaurian affairs. Humanity gains a family member sitting on our throne, Thorax corrected. Is this different from the countless political marriages throughout galactic history? The Regellian Consortium itself was formed through the marriage of 2 rival dynasties. Senator Calyx of the Andromedan Collective raised a tentacle. The medical implications interest us more than politics. If human genetics can successfully bond with Centaurian biology, what does this mean for other species facing reproductive crises? Could humans be the answer to multiple extinction scenarios? Marcus nodded slowly. Our scientists believe so, yes. However, we must proceed carefully. Humanity will not become a breeding service for the galaxy. We are people, not genetic resources to be exploited. Any future partnerships must follow the model established here. Genuine relationships, mutual consent, and respect for human autonomy. Yet you understand the value you represent, Senator Wren pressed. Humans now hold bargaining power over species desperate for survival. We understand responsibility, Marcus corrected. Earth's government has already drafted ethical guidelines. We will help where we can, but only through voluntary individual choices, never through coercion or commercial transaction. Love cannot be mandated or purchased. The debate continued for hours. Some senators expressed outrage at human involvement in Centauran affairs. Others saw opportunity for their own struggling populations. A few recognized the precedent being set and worried about implications for galactic social structures. Finally, Emperor Thorax called for silence. This Senate debates abstractions while ignoring reality. My daughters are happy. Ambassador Webb is happy. Healthy children will be born, carrying genetic heritage from two worlds. They will be raised with love, taught to respect both their human and Centaurian origins. They will inherit my empire not through conquest or manipulation, but through legitimate succession. This is not a human victory over Centaurians, but a victory for both our peoples over extinction and isolation. Senator Black stood again. And if these hybrids prove superior to pure Centaurians? What then? Then we celebrate evolution, Thorax replied. My people adapted to survive toxic worlds. Now we adapt again to survive genetic collapse. This is not